So, Alex, AI in everyday life that we may not be aware of. What would you say? What would you mention?
Well, there's just going to be many, many pieces that are rolling out in the next year, even that that will change our lives dramatically. In the U.S., we're about to enter an era of driverless cars, and those are essentially powered by AI, by machine learning, by AI systems that have learned how to drive, learned all of the risks of the road, and now can operate autonomously the way humans used to operate, or the way humans still do operate. And I want to add also that this is a technology that will probably benefit the elderly as well, because it will significantly augment their capabilities for mobility and getting around. Other types of AI that I think we'll start to see much more in the very near term, and we're already seeing, is in things like media, for example. The Washington Post last year wrote 850 articles that were generated by an artificial intelligence system. Certain types of research around very structured data, so for example, sports box scores or election results or corporate results, an AI can write that and convey that information very easily and turn that into an article or even potentially a video. I also believe that in the coming year, we're going to see a lot more AI that will assist us in our finances.
Sure.
So we're already seeing bots that will advise us when we've spent too much, or will warn us if something funny is happening in our accounts. And again, that is also something that could help the aging tremendously, because they're very often a target of fraud. So some sort of system that warns when something untoward is happening and maybe tells their loved ones, it could have a dramatic impact in helping people who are older avoid fraud and avoid getting ripped off.
Alex, the ethics. Do you even think about that, or are you just thinking about the science?
The ethics are a tremendous component of this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, really, when we're taking care of our loved ones who are older, it's a question of, are we giving them some of our love when we're spending time with them as humans? And at the same time, as a society, it's pretty clear that we have refused to put an economic value on that time. I mean, in the U.S., at least, caregivers are wildly underpaid. There's a shortage of them. It's dirty, dangerous work, high injury rates. So at least in terms of looking at the market, the verdict is in that, maybe the ethical path would be much more human interaction with people as they age, but it's just not happening. So we need to think really hard about how we can give people who are aging what they need, to survive and thrive. And I think that, to Professor Alex's point, it's actually going to be a spectrum of things which we'll see. Some may be full AI and robotics. Some may be some of the services we're seeing now where there's actually a human being that is interacting with an elderly person via a tablet, and they may be working remotely and watching what's happening, not every minute, but when there's activity, or if they hear a noise, or if they get a question. So I think that we'll see a pretty wide spectrum. But at the very core of it, I think that AI will start to challenge our ideas of what is human, what is AI, and how the two merge. I mean, in some ways, AI can be better ethically than humans. I mean, imagine, for example, the My Lai massacre, where if that had been robots and we had said, don't shoot women or children, full stop, then probably that wouldn't have happened.
Oh,
so it's a really nuanced
But that's
question.
also quite terrifying, the idea of robots in war deciding who they're going to kill and who they're not going to kill. But bringing up that scary point, here's Joshua on Twitter. Joshua says, I wonder if there's any measure of finding out how much AI could benefit society and how much it could damage society if built or used incorrectly.
It's a fabulous question. I don't think there's any real measure. I think that looking at how much fear AI has instilled in some of the very smart people, including Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, all of them are afraid of superhuman AI, an AI that's much smarter than us, and what impact that could have. I also think that, to Professor Alex's point, it can erode the little bits and interactions which make us human and make life rich and worth living. So I think it's something we have to look at very, very clearly and with eyes wide open. At the same time, it's important to understand we've been existing with AI for quite a while.
Yeah.
And when you get a credit report or a mortgage, there's an AI system, algorithmic, in the background that's analyzing you. When you surf the internet and ads are served to you, there's AI interacting with you. So I mean, to a large degree, we're already in that world. It's more just it's not as surfaced and in our faces as it's going to be in the future.
Messe Satter says, I heard this story 30 years ago, Alex. What makes this technology feasible? AI has been oversold over the years. In the last few moments of the show, what would you say to push back?
So first of all, you're correct. This technology has been oversold. On the other hand, the last 10 years have seen dramatic improvements in key facets of AI around voice recognition, speech recognition, conversational capabilities, things that are really crucial to interacting with people who are elderly, and that will make it a much better experience today than it was or it could have been 10 or 15, 20 years ago. There's a confluence of things that have brought that about. A lot more data to train artificial intelligence systems, much cheaper systems, better connectivity. We didn't have tablets that could connect wirelessly anywhere in the world.